What would you do if you spent your life savings on a new home and the ground beneath it suddenly gave way? And what if your child was trapped below and the rain kept falling and no one could reach you in time? This is Sinkhole, a 2021 film filled with quiet panic, dark comedy, and a disaster that doesn't explode. It opens wide and waits. It all starts with heavy rain. Dong-won and his family have just moved into their new apartment. The furniture isn't inside yet. The delivery truck is stuck because some stranger parked his car in the way. When the owner finally appears, he wears a sour face and moves the car like he's doing them a favor. Inside the building, things seem normal enough. Dong-won is content. His new home has a beautiful view, space for his kids to grow up, and most importantly, it's his. He worked for 11 years to get here. The next day, something small but strange happens. A marble rolls across the floor on its own. Then, he notices the floor seems tilted. Later at work, his colleagues ask about the new house. When he mentions the location, their mood changes instantly. That building, his new home, is on land that used to be part of an industrial complex. A sewage treatment plant, actually. They mention that the area doesn't have the safest foundation. His co-workers stare at him in disbelief, but Dong-won doesn't want to hear it. He cuts the conversation short and moves on. That night, the rain returned, harder than before, and something unexpected happens. The glass door shows a long fracture across its center. The ground floor begins to split. In the morning, when he tries to touch the door, it shatters completely. Worried, Dong-won joins a meeting with the neighbors. But instead of solutions, people argue. They bicker about personal issues. Nothing gets done. The next day, Dong-won's co-workers visit his new home. They're impressed with the view. They stay for food and drinks. 2 of them leave early. The others, Kim and Yoon-ju, spend the night. Meanwhile, Dong-won's wife returns from shopping with their kids. On the way, they meet a neighbor couple on their way to a bathhouse. The water in their own home has stopped working. One of the kids, Schweiken, takes the trolley and heads home ahead of them, trying to help his mother carry the groceries. While crossing the street, Schweiken drops a marble. It rolls under a parked car. He crouches to reach for it. Elsewhere, on a balcony, Sung-yan is talking to a neighbor about the water problem in his apartment. Everything seemed pretty normal. Nobody noticed what was about to happen. And then, the ground started shaking. People stop what they're doing. They look around, confused. The whole apartment drops into the ground. It wasn't an earthquake. The surrounding buildings remain untouched. It's just their building. It was a massive sinkhole, hundreds of meters deep, opening beneath them. Down below, Kim's taxi is still moving. It slides against the edge of the rubble, one bad bounce away from being crushed between concrete and wall. Dong-won rushes over, grabs him, pulls him out just in time. Ha-jun and Sung-won also survive the fall. Up top, the rescue team arrives and begins planning, but the sinkhole isn't stable. When they lower rescue lines, the walls shift. Ropes are pulled back up. They need another way. Sung-yan suddenly remembers his son is missing. He begins searching through the fallen concrete in panic. Finally, after what feels like hours, Sung-tae is found alive, trapped in a room. Dong-won is terrified for his own family, until he remembers they were out shopping when it happened. They're safe. That gives him focus. He has to survive. Rain keeps falling. The conditions inside get worse. But hope comes from above, as the rescue drones are sent in. One makes it close, but loses signal and crashes. Still, the people below see it. Sung-tae calls the others. They gather, trying to communicate with the drone's camera. But then, another building collapses on them. This time, Ha-Jun lashes a thick cable around an iron beam. Dong-won and Sung-won help pull him up, but the rope snaps. Kim falls hard into thick, sucking mud. They act fast, break open a window below. The mud rushes in, pressure shifts, and Kim is pulled to safety. As night falls, new equipment is lowered: satellite phones, oxygen tanks, food, and water. They're not alone anymore, but they're still not safe. Then comes the news no one wants to hear. Schweiken, Dong-won's son, is also trapped in the hole. His wife confirms it with a phone call. There's no time to wait. Dong-won grabs a harness, attaches it to a rope held by his co-workers, and begins lowering himself into the wreckage. Rain begins to pour again. Above, the head of the rescue operation decides to risk descending himself. But before he gets far, the ground shifts again. Another building nearby collapses. It crashes into the pit. The people below are shaken, and Dong-won's rope slips from his harness. He falls, but survives, and finds Schweiken, alive, scared, and alone. Not far away, they find Min-sun's mother. Her son is unconscious, badly hurt. She refuses to leave him. Dong-won pleads. She shakes her head. So he takes Schweiken and starts to climb. The rain grows stronger. The pit begins to flood. There's no time. They begin gathering anything that floats: furniture, plastic containers, metal trays. But it isn't enough. They find the tank by accident. It's big. And wedged between the concrete pieces on the upper floor, Dong-won, Kim, Yoon-ju, Ha-Jun, and the others climb in one by one. There's no other option. The water is coming fast, and the floor above is breaking apart. Seung-hyun stays outside. He says someone has to seal it from the outside. Before anyone can stop him, he shuts the lid. The rain picks up again. The building above them collapses, landing hard. The tank is shoved downward. Then it floats, caught in a rush of water forcing it upward through the wreckage. But then, the tank gets tangled within cables. They hit the sides until it breaks loose. It floats again, but not for long. A metal pipe stabs through the plastic, and water starts rushing in. Kim pushes his hand over the hole, trying to stop it. It's not enough. They're running out of time. Then they hear it. Something hitting outside of the tank, again and again. It's Seung-hyun. He's still alive, breathing through the oxygen mask, kicking the side with both legs. He manages to pry the lid open from the outside. Water floods in immediately. They're seconds from going under, and Ha-Jun slams his fist through the side wall of the tank. Not to escape, but to punch a dent just deep enough to redirect the flow. The leak slows. Outside, Seung-hyun reaches for Dong-won's hand, but the tank is moving too fast. He's pulled under, but he's still tied to the rope, and it drags him along. Above, the rescue team sees movement. The tank breaches the surface. They pull it up with a suction crane slowly, and then, one by one, the survivors are lifted out. Not all of them made it. Some were left behind. But those who made it out would never forget the night. The movie ends with Dong-won and Schweiken sitting quietly, watching the rescue teams pack up. The storm has passed. The pit is sealed. But something in them has shifted. The building is gone, but the weight of it lingers. And just when things seem to settle, news breaks that another building nearby is showing signs of sinking. So now the question is, can a family ever feel safe again after the ground disappears beneath them? Comment your thoughts below, and if you liked this breakdown, check out our other deep dives. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.